Hello everybody, welcome to episode 86 of Show For You, which today we'll be going over chapter 1180 of the One Piece manga. Chills! Alright, so we start off the chapter and we see as Imu, everyone's like noticing him, and they're like, oh! And he declares himself to be king of Elbaf. And first thing we see him do is he cuts off Gerd's fingertips, like at the tips. So she releases Summer sends him falling to the ground with his heart and all that. And then we see as he's kind of like rattling around collecting all of his bits and everything. And then we see as he bestows on Summers what is known as an omen. Or omen. So I presume omen is Imu's power. It's kind of said that this is Imu's power is called omen. So he has multiple powers and omen is one of them. Now omen has it's apparently multiple things because he shows like this little like flame thing coming out of his hand that he can shoot at with like a little face and all that, and it does damage. So we see that Omen is also an attack, but also we see later in the chapter Killingham mentions thank goodness and Omen. So and that's when he's bestowed with like the black wreathing flame behind him, like Imu had without the eyes, and he gives to Summer here. So I presume Omen is kind of like a buff while also an attack. It's probably just on the translation part, but like I believe it's a little bit too generalized of a name for one attack, so I believe it'll probably be broken down later on. Yeah, so we see this, and then we see as Zoro pulls up and tries to hit Imu. Well, I'm just gonna say Imu. Yeah, I'm not gonna say Narona. But we see as he tries to hits Imu with a Purgatory Onigiri, and Imu blocks it with his tail. He blocks his jump with his tail. It was beautiful hockey and everything. And then we see as he pulls out his hand, prepares, and shoots an omen at Zoro, knocks him back, blood comes out of his mouth, but he doesn't like blow up or anything like that. Then, after this, we see as Haruden rushes in to defend Zoro and Gerd. He rushes in, and Stanson's like, yo, you need to stop. This person is way more powerful than you think. So Stanson goes in as Imu slings for an attack, and we see as Stanson's leg is cut off at like the knee almost, a little bit lower. And we see his Harden's like, oh crap, I didn't mean to do that. But then he goes and attacks it away, grabs his axe. There's like this sick panel. Like this doesn't really even look like Oda's art style. Like it was that sick looking. I mean, Oda's art style is sick anyways. But like we see as Harden's like winding up, preparing to hit down. And he gets hit with an omen as well. And he like blows up, like explodes. But yeah. So he doesn't explode, but like we see an explosion around him. We see wreathing flames. And yeah, so after this, we see as we kind of get to see like we get to see Imu sprout wings somehow. I would presume that they're omen wings. So I don't really know what omen is exactly, and it's not really explained. But it appears that he has the ability to, I guess, materialize things. Yeah, he creates these wings for himself, and he goes flying abroad, and he ultimately ends up finding Gunko freezed in the ice. So he hits her with well, he doesn't hit her, but he hits the ice with his staff thing, whatever it is. Kind of looks like Whitebeard's blade. It's like wiggly blade, and he ends up hitting with that with an omen imbued attack, and it presumably unthaws her. But then we get a perspective of everyone like reacting to his presence and all that. We see as the giants are like, "Whoa, someone big just pulled up here." We think they're with the Holy Knights. We see as Loki and Zoro are still munching down on the food that's been burnt now because the flames have spread, and they're still munching down and like, "Yo, we gotta hurry up and get our energy back because someone is coming." And then we see as the other Straw Hats are kind of sitting around and doing their thing with like capturing Killingham and all that. And we see as they realize that this hockey is insane. Oh wait, we also get to see Gabon's reaction. Gabon says this is like hockey that more powerful hockey than he ever felt at God Valley. So this hockey is more powerful than Rocks, Roger, Garp, and who else was there? Rocks, Roger, Garp, Whitebeard, Kaido. So this is some top tier hockey, and so that really kind of establishes what I was frightful of is the level of the hockey. Now, yes, Gabon has never been exposed to Joy Boys hockey, and he said specifically at God Valley, so there's a possibility that it could have been more adjacent to like something that Roger had in his prime, but we don't know. It's reasonable to presume that this hockey is powerful because Imu is presumably the main villain. And yeah, so we see that this hockey is super powerful, and it's been established by Gabon specifically stating that it is more powerful than anything he even felt at God Valley. So we know that Imu, like, if he is suppressing, then his hockey is he's either suppressing and his hockey is even more powerful, or his hockey is this and it's still insanely powerful. Because we haven't really seen him like have a hockey blast yet or a clash with anyone. So I don't think we necessarily know the extent of his hockey yet. But yeah, so we see as Gabon makes a statement on that, and the person who said the crazy hockey was I believe no, it was Jinbei. Yeah, Jinbei. He mentions how the hockey is crazy strong. and how the people that they're coming for them because he presumes that that Imu is coming for him. He doesn't know who is Imu, but he presumes that a Holy Knight is coming for them now that this new one has summoned, and presumes that they're coming to retrieve killing him. So we see as Imu pulls up, Freeze killing him, and he starts trying to get his things together. Imu bestows upon killing him a omen, which is like the breathing flame in this situation. And then we see as Sanji pulls up, and he's like, "Who said you could free him?" And then Sanji goes for an attack with his fist and his leg raised, and Imu hits him with a side kick and blasts that John. He goes flying so hard, explosion. So, okay. I don't know if this is, and that was a hockey imbued kick because we saw the little lightning streaks from it. But I don't know if this is a Zoro and Sanji scaling debate. I'm just saying. Zoro did take less damage from a actual attack, like not a named attack, but I mean possibly a named attack. It wasn't a named attack. It was just a devil fruit attack. He took more damage from a devil fruit attack. He took less damage from a devil fruit attack than Sanji did from a direct attack. And so we don't really know which one's more powerful at the moment. And I don't believe this is really going to be an instance for Sanji and Zoro scaling because, I mean, both of them got absolutely annihilated by Imu. The one tapped, essentially. But, yeah. So, I mean, Zoro did have the clash with his tail. He was able to hold that clash, but then Imu hit him with the sneak omen. But, I mean, it wasn't really sneak. He still got beat. And Sanji still got beat as well. But he just got one hit rather than getting two hit like Zoro did. So, I don't believe that's going to be an instance of scaling. But, I mean, any Zoro or Sanji fan would take that and be like, he's better than the other one. Because, I mean, you can really take it either way. But, yeah. So, with that, we then see as... as Loki ends up pulling up, and Imu's like, yes, I'm looking for the person who killed my servant Harold 14 years ago. And Loki's like, I'm the one who did it. And I can't remember what he said. I believe Imu mentioned something about how he's surprised that he's on Elbaf, and he's like, where else would I be? Dumb, And I was like, we're going to see this scene of Loki just, like, towering over Imu and literal aura, like, oh my gosh, that was a little bit of a rash, but still, this panel was sick. We have legit bro facing up against the final villain, presumably, of One Piece, and he still has unlimited aura, guys. This is literally peak. Like, everything in this chapter was phenomenal, like, art-wise, that was sick. Loki insulting Imu and still towering over him, just straight behemoth of a creature over Imu. Like, honestly, I already liked Loki to begin with. This put him even higher in my books, because that was genuinely insane. Like, chills. That's what caused chills. Like, just pure aura. And, like, honestly, I want to see Loki and Imu fight. Like, I mean, from this performance, we can see that, that he probably won't do absurdly well, but there's a chance. There's a chance that he can at least throw it in a little bit. And if Luffy comes in, Loki and Luffy fighting Imu, I don't know, guys. It might be a little, I don't know, it might get a little iffy there. But, I mean, I think, at this moment, I don't think Luffy and Loki are both going to fight Imu. Because, I mean, it's reasonable to presume it might just be us drawing conclusions. We don't know. We don't know what Oda's thoughts is. But it's reasonable to presume that Imu could beat both of them, like, right now. I mean, yeah, Luffy's probably not going to get absurdly stronger. Because, I mean, he does have some hurdles to pass. But I don't think he's going to get, like, big power-up before the end of the series. So, like, I don't know. It really depends on how relative Luffy is to his end-of-story strength. But yeah, so that's all there really was content-wise for chapter 1180. Now, one thing I wanted to comment on was the size of Imu. We get to see Imu's physical size, and he's actually a very towering individual. He's quite a bit larger than an average human. We actually get to see that his tail is, like, quite large compared to Zoro. Also, on this tail, I'm just saying, that tail was the same tail that punched a hole through Sabo, who is, I would say Sabo is more powerful than Sanji and Zoro. Like, we don't really have feats to base that off of, but, I mean, it's a reasonable conclusion because he's the second head of the Revolutionary Army, and he kind of has to be powerful for that. So I would presume that he is more powerful than Zoro and Sanji just based off position, but, I mean, that we can't always tell based off position. And Zoro did quite a good job against that tail, so that's just a little bit of an up there. But yeah, so we should just see Imu's size, and he is, I wouldn't say he's Whitebeard size, I would say he's shorter than Whitebeard, but he still has a very imposing stature for I don't know if he's a human or what. I mean, presume he's a Lunarian, possibly because of the dark skin. Presume he's might be part giant because of the horns. We don't really know his species yet, but he is quite a bit shorter than average Jax. We see him compared to Haruden, and Haruden's leg is like quite a bit larger than Emu. So we know that he's not probably a giant, but he is also quite tall. So I mean, I guess he's probably Lunarian because I mean King was about that size, but also he seems bigger than a Lunarian. So I don't know. But yeah, so we see this, and we see him compared to Loki, obviously, and he's substantially smaller than Loki, but Loki's a behemoth, like I said. But yeah, so we see all that, and this kind of gives us a relative size scaling of Emu. But yeah, that was a great chapter. I cannot wait to see next chapter because, I want to see Loki and Emu fight. I want to see him throw down. I want to see him go fisticuffs, get pugilistic in this, John. But yeah, that's all I really have for chapter, all my commentary I really have for chapter 1180, and all I really have for episode 86 of Shelf Review. So thank you very much for watching.